4. Introduction. Part 4. Before the interview. Acing an interview starts well before the interview itself. Years before, in fact, the following timeline outlines what you should be thinking about when. If you're starting late into this process, don't worry. Do as much catching up as you can and focus on preparation and go up. So it's like, I think I only have right now what I have from grad school that I for sure have the code of. Oh, I'm so bummed by that. But I guess while I do this process, I can work on building other things. But as far as like waiting to put in resumes, I don't think I'm in a position to do that. So I'm probably gonna get a lot of nothing. Getting the right experience. If you're starting late in this process, don't worry. Do as much catching up as you can and then focus on preparation. Look, getting the right experience. Without a great resume, there's no interview, and without great experience, there's no great resume. Therefore, the first step in landing an interview is getting great experience. The further in advance you can think about this, the better. For current students, this may mean the following. Take the big project classes. Seek out the classes of big coding projects. This is a great way to get some practical experience before you have any formal work experience. The more relevant the project is to the real world, the better. Get an internship. Do everything you can to land an internship early in school. It will pave the way for even better internships before you graduate. Many of the top tech companies have internship programs designed especially for freshmen and sophomores. Hi, Oliver, not here. You can also look at startups, which might be more flexible. Start something. Hi, Weston Neubauer. I'm doing okay. Start something. Build a project on your own time. Participate in hackathons or contribute to an open source project. It doesn't matter too much what it is. The important thing is that you're coding. Not only will this develop your technical skills and practical experience, your initiative will impress companies. Oh, thank you, Weston. That's very kind of you to say. Professionals, on the other hand, may already have the right experience to switch to their dream company. For instance, a Google dev probably already has sufficient experience to switch to Facebook. However, if you're trying to move from a lesser-known company to one of the biggies, or from testing IT into a dev role, the following advice will be useful. Hi, Gabby. Buckaloo. Weston Newbar, you can ask your question, don't expect an answer. Let's see. Okay, so it says, again, for professionals, on the other hand, may already have the right experience to switch to their dream company. For instance, the Google dev probably already has sufficient experience to switch to Facebook. However, if you're trying to move from a lesser-known company to one of the biggies, or from testing IT into a dev role, the following advice will be useful. Shift work responsibilities more towards coding. Without revealing to your manager that you are thinking of leaving, you can discuss your eagerness to take on bigger coding challenges. As much as possible, try to ensure that these projects are meaty use relevant technologies, and lend themselves well to a resume bullet or two. It is these coding projects that will ideally form the bulk of your resume. What's the new stream? What's the new What do I do on my live stream? Varies. Right now, I am reading from Cracking the Coding Interview by Gayle, Laakman, McDowell. This lovely lady right here. Sometimes I'm dancing. Yeah, pretty much. Thank you, Golden Rap here. Pretty much that. Terrence Bem? I'm not sure who that is or what that's in reference to. But I guess that's good, maybe. Use your nights and weekends. This is what I'm going to have to start doing more of. If you have some free time, use it to build a mobile app, a web app, or a piece of desktop software. Doing such projects is also a great way to get experience with new technologies, making you more relevant to today's companies. This project work should definitely be listed on your resume. Few things are as impressive to an interviewer as a candidate who built something just for fun. All of these boil down to the two big things that companies want to see: that you're smart and that you can code. If you can prove that, you can land your interview. I'm trying to figure out the best way to go forward. I'm so lost. Like, do I just reinforce it? Do I just go ahead and assume I can get the... Are you sure, Golden Raphael? We'll see. If Terrence is around still, I'm not even sure he's still here. And also, if they're not making any suspicious references. One can hope it's good things. I don't know. I'm not able to switch off. Ryan, I'm not gone visiting yet. That's next week. Technically Friday, I'll be making a drive. Oh. Well, it's probably best not to overthink it. Golden Rat VR. I don't know. Use your best judgment on that one. I know. I don't know. All these boil down to the two big things that companies want to see: that you're smart and that you code. If you can prove that, you can land your interview. Uh, I'm just gonna have to, like, as much as I learned during grad school, it's been so long ago. Oh yeah, I was here earlier, but then my brother called, and so I'm like, oh, let me talk to him. And then as I was talking to him, I got an email, and I'm like, why am I getting this letter from this doctor about this thing? Did that affect my other thing that's gonna happen in February? So I had to like run off the call with my brother to then try to call up the health facility to try to get some confirmation on some things. Oh. So then I was like, well, I'm done with that. Let me try and call my brother again. He was not available, so he might be calling again, or my boyfriend might be calling, because that happens. So, I don't know. I'm going to have to go again, or I might actually not for a while. Either way, as far as I know, tomorrow is another wake up at 3:15 day. So I don't have too long. Oh, I didn't get any progress in on cracking the coding interview over the weekend, so I wanted to try to get at least a little bit in today. In addition, you should think in advance about where you want your career to go. If you want to move into management down the road, honestly, even though you're currently looking for a dev position, you should find ways now of developing leadership experience. Honestly, personally, I would love to go for my PhD, and I would love to just be doing research, and just a lot of research, because I like research. But I don't know if that's a thing that is viable or feasible. Writing a great resume. Resume screeners look for the same things that interviewers do. They want to know that you're smart and that you can code. Ah, see, this is the information I should be sharing with my cousin, who's been helping me with my resume. That's true. All right. That means you should prepare your resume to highlight those two things. Wow. Okay. Your love of tennis, traveling, or magic cards won't do much to show that. Think twice before cutting more technical lines in order to allow space for your non-technical hobbies. Appropriate. Oh, okay. Hmm. Interesting. Appropriate resume length. I'm interested to know. It's not me who's that one person. I don't have my computer up right now. Appropriate resume length. In the US, it is strongly advised to keep a resume to one page if you have less than 10 years of experience. Okay, this is my problem. I have experience outside of computer science as far as work experience goes. And all of my computer science experience to this point has been with school. So it's like, I guess I should still be keeping it to one page. More experienced candidates can often justify 1.5 to 2 pages otherwise. Think twice about a long resume. Shorter resumes are often more impressive. Recruiters only spend a fixed amount of time, about 10 seconds, looking at your resume. If you limit the content to the most impressive items, this is where the imposter syndrome comes in. Okay, so you're saying stick with the one page. Probably for the best. Such a bummer. I just feel like I'm on a freaking treadmill, just cycling through, looping, infinite looping. It's like, why did I go through all of this school to just end up back in a similar position than before I started this? I don't like spinning my wheels, but I'm very good at it, I guess. Recruiters only spend a fixed amount of time, about 10 seconds, looking at your resume. If you limit the content to the most impressive items, the recruiter is sure to see them. Adding additional items just distracts the recruiter from what you'd really like them to see. Some people just flat out refuse to read long resumes. Do you really want to risk having your resume tossed for this reason? If you are thinking right now that you have too much experience and can't fit it all on 1 or 2 pages, trust me, you can. Long resumes are not a reflection of having tons of experience, a reflection of not understanding how to prioritize content. Yeah, good point, Ryan. Or Dina. The resume should only be enough of an interest to them to call you. Yeah. Employment history. I really don't. Well, that's interesting. Okay, so it says your resume does not and should not include full history of every role you've ever had. Include only the relevant positions, the ones that make you a more impressive candidate. So, like, I don't technically. So then it's, do I list what I've been doing for the last 15 years or so, or do I not? Like, I feel like I should because I have been doing things with my time, even though it's not only computer science or explicitly computer science for work as far as earning pay to do it. I don't know. It might count towards something, it may not. But maybe if I can, okay, well, I guess what I should do is think of ways in which my experience would be helpful for, like, what skills did I develop as a substitute teacher, for instance, that would be something that could correlate with dev. I'm sure there's some overlaps. Last 3 jobs. That sounds good. Oh, boy. Writing strong bullets. For each role, try to discuss your accomplishments with the following approach. Accomplish X. Ah, see, this is what my cousin was going over when he helped me. Okay, so this is what she's talking about too. Well, at least he knows that part. Like, technically speaking, I don't know. Okay, so he's an IT, and I still, after all this time, don't really know how much of a connection IT and computer science have. I don't know if it's this close or like this far or what, but at least that part is lining up. Writing strong bullets. For each role, try to discuss your accomplishments with the following approach. Accomplished X by implementing Y, which led to Z. Here's an example. Reduced object rendering time by 75% by implementing distributed caching, leading to a 10% reduction in login time. Oh, it's kind of flipped. The way he has it, um, it's like the solution is at the top. But I kind of, or maybe I'm just misremembering it. I was just looking at it this morning, but it's been one of those days. There's a reason why I call it Monday mood control. It's rough. Just dealing with all of the moods. That's good to know. Okay. Here's an example with an alternate wording. Increased average math accuracy from 1.2 to 1.5 by implementing a new comparison algorithm based on WinDiff. Oh, WinDiff. Not everything you did will fit into this approach, but the principle is the same. Show what you did, how you did it, and what the results were. That's interesting. Ideally, you should try to make the results measurable somehow. Okay. This is catch-22 because if I don't have a computer that I can use to do the coding, which I don't, my computer's about to pop. It's got too much stuff on it from grad school. Then how do I get the coding? How do I? I'm so annoyed. Projects. Developing the project section on your resume is often the best way to present yourself as more experienced. This is especially true for college students or recent grads, which I still qualify for. I'm trying to get some kind of progress done with this process before the next graduating class. But that's so close to now. The project should include your 2 to 4 most significant projects. State what the project was and which languages or technologies it employed. You may also want to consider. Okay, so here's the thing. No, I hear you. I got an external hard drive. And then I was like, I went to the Best Buy. I'm like, hey, can you please X, Y, and Z? They were backed up and I needed my computer. And then the guy was like, oh, but you should just get a new computer. But case in point, that's even more so the case now because it only has Windows 10 and it does not qualify to be upgraded to Windows 11. And they're going to be starting in October of next year. Not doing any new updates for Windows 10. So I might just have to go and get one of those Chromebooks. I don't know. I'm not exactly a fan of those. I like having a full keyboard. Yeah, probably. I'm not saying that it isn't better. I'm just saying that I've always been very lazy in that respect and just enjoying Microsoft taking care of the updates. Sometimes they don't work out. At least one time my computer totally crashed after an update. And I swear it used to be able to qualify to be upgraded to Windows 11, but my laptop repair people made some kind of change to something that no longer qualified for it. So the interesting thing here I just noticed is that with the projects, that's where my cousin was putting in the thing about the bullets. But here in this, they're recommending Gayle. I don't know what you can do in 11. I've never used it. Or maybe I have used it, like at work, and didn't realize I was using it. I'm not too sure. Technically speaking, at work, they probably have Windows NT or something. Okay. I'm just super feeling like I need to be cozy because I'm just having the blast today. Okay, so right. So effectively, they're talking about putting the bullets in the employment history here in this book, whereas my cousin was utilizing the bullets for the projects. Huh? Well, maybe it's bullets and everything. Let's see. Projects. Developing the project section on your resume is often the best way to present yourself as more experienced. This is especially true for college students or recent grads. The project should include your 2 to 4 most significant projects. State what the project was and which languages or technologies it employed. You may also want to consider including details such as whether the project was an individual or team project and whether it was completed for a course or independently. These details are not required, so only include them if they make you look better. Independent projects are generally preferred over course projects as it shows initiative. Oh, really? Oh, no. I'm not saying, okay. I'm not saying that since it's Windows 10, it's crap. I'm saying I was trying to stream um, on my computer. Something I was trying to YouTube, and it went black. Like the screen went black because there was a graphics card issue. I'm seeing there's multiple issues going on with my computer. I have not been kind to it, and there's a lot going on, and I don't really have time to try to troubleshoot it. But you have a point. I did get an external hard drive. I could try and move things over to that. That might help. But first, I kind of want to get my apartment more in order. There's a lot of stuff that went to the wayside while I was figuring out grad school. Let's just put it that way. That's why I'm so bummed. Like, I haven't gotten anywhere. It's been so long since May 2024, and I haven't really gotten anywhere with this whole thought I had of, oh, I'm going to graduate and everything's going to be great. I'm going to get a good job, blah, blah. So far, not yet. Okay, so it seems like I should try to make some of my own things as I'm like working on this other stuff. Fresh install of Windows? Yeah, I guess so. You got a point. If I put everything over to the external hard drive and then do a fresh install of Windows, that would probably fix a few things. Do not add too many projects. Many candidates make a mistake of adding all 13 of their prior projects, cluttering the resume with small, non-impressive projects. So, what should you build? Honestly, it doesn't matter that much. Some employers really like open source projects. They often experience contributing to a large code base, while others prefer independent projects. It's easier to understand your personal contributions. You could build a mobile app, a web app, or almost anything. The most important thing is that you're building something. Going to have VR balanced? No, the cops aren't. You sound like my boyfriend. He would joke about that too. No, the cops are not after me. No, I didn't do anything. I know I'm not interested in getting swatted. California all the way. Okay. So what do you build? Honestly, it doesn't matter that much. Some employers really like open source projects and often experience bringing to a large code base. While others prefer independent projects. It's easier to understand your personal contributions. You could build a mobile app, a web app, or almost anything. The most important thing is that you're building something. Programming languages and software. Software. Be conservative about what software you list and understand what's appropriate for the company. Software like Microsoft Office can almost always be cut. Technical software like Visual Studio and Eclipse is somewhat more relevant. Oh, Eclipse. Yeah, I did use it. I've heard that one. But many of the top tech companies won't even care about that. After all, is it really hard to learn Visual Studio? Oh, really? Oh, okay. Of course, it won't hurt you to list all of this software. It just takes up valuable space. You need to arrive at the trade-off of that. Languages. Should you list everything you've ever worked with, or shorten the list to just the ones that you're most comfortable with? Well, if I do that, we're talking about C++ and C and C Sharp. Because I probably know a lot of Java. I just, it's been a bit. What I need to do though is I have to like practice that. No, I hear you, Ryan Herdina. Just right, C. I hear you. I just need to practice writing C again because if I do the whiteboard interviews, then I have to be able to not have too many. I don't know what's going on tonight. More crazy for this crazy year, that's what I know. Whew. Hope everyone's okay. Listing everything you've ever worked with is dangerous. Many interviewers consider anything on your resume to be fair game as far as the interview. Ah, okay. There's a point. Okay. Yeah, that seems like I would be not able to prep well enough. Because there are a few things that I remember, but there are also like, oh, I have holes. I have some holes. Okay, you got a point. One alternative is to list most of the languages you've used, but add your experience level. This approach is shown below. Okay, that's currently I have. Oh, I could just say prior experience. Oh, okay. I appreciate that. Okay. So it says languages Java, expert in the parenthetical, C++, proficient in the parenthetical, JavaScript, prior experience. I'm so glad I got this book. Okay. Because I was setting myself up for something. Yeah, I'm not trying to. Like, I don't want to. Like, I need to prep, but I also need to also finally get over my fear and just start trying to put in applications. Because I have not yet. I keep putting that off. So, I have to start putting in applications, but also, doing doing what I can with C. I'm still trying to get my C++. Okay. I might be able to do enough C. Because they're definitely, C++ is C, but just with additional things that allows for the object-oriented programming. But I don't technically need to do full OOP for the coding and reads. So that makes sense to just write C. Just gotta remember what the differences are with pointers between C++ and C, if any. There shouldn't actually be too much of a difference in that, because that's one of the things that C++. Eh? Bernardina, I don't know them. Who? What? Anyway, use whatever wording expert fluents that are effectively use. Oh, using whatever wording expert fluents that are effectively communicates your skill set. Some people list the number of years of experience they have with a particular language, but this can be really confusing. If you first learned Java 10 years ago and have used it occasionally throughout that time, how many years of experience is this? For this reason, the number of years of experience is a poor metric for resumes. It's better to just describe what you mean in plain English. Advice for non-native English speakers and internationals. Some companies will throw out your resume just because of a typo. Please get at least one native English speaker to proofread your resume. Oh, really? Well, I know the difference, for sure the difference between C++ and C is that with C++, it's object-oriented programming, and you can benefit from classes and objects, etc., where you can't do that with regular C. That's the main difference. Additionally, for U.S. positions, do not include age, marital status, or nationality. This sort of personal information is not appreciated by companies. as it creates a legal liability for them. But like as far as like what C++ keeps from the base of C, I don't think there's much of a difference. I think that's all the same. I think the difference is once you start building classes and then be able to instantiate objects is what is different. Beware of potential stigma. Certain languages have stigmas associated with them. Sometimes this is because of the language themselves, but often it's because of the places where the language is used. I'm not defending the stigma. I'm just letting you know of it. Really? Okay. Oh, okay. Sure. That sounds good. If I ever get back to design patterns, that's the class that I took this time last year was object-oriented programming. We were learning about design patterns. You can't do all the fancy things that you can do with design patterns with C++. You can't do that with C. That's just kind of the short version is like how classes like there's no such thing as linking of classes. Like you in that case it's nice, it's easy, it's simple, it does get the job done. But if you're like trying to like I don't know how to explain this. It's fine though. Sometimes nice and easy and simple is just the best way to do it. I gotta learn that one. A few stigmas you should be aware of. Enterprise languages. Certain languages have a stigma associated with them, and those are often the ones that are used for enterprise development. Visual Basic is a good example of this. If you show yourself to be an expert with VB, it can cause people to assume that you're less skilled. Many of these same people will admit that yes, VB.net is actually perfectly capable of building sophisticated applications, but still the kinds of applications that people tend to build with it are not very sophisticated. You would be unlikely to see a big name Silicon Valley using VB. In fact, the same argument, although less strong, applies to the whole .NET platform. If your primary focus is .NET and you're not applying for .NET roles, you'll have to do more to show that you're strong technically than if you were coming with a different background. Being too language focused. When recruiters at some of the top tech companies see resumes that list every flavor of Java on their resume, they make negative assumptions about the caliber of candidate. There is a belief in many circles that the best software engineers don't define themselves around a particular language. Thus, when they see a candidate seems to flaunt which specific versions of a language they know, recruiters will often bucket the candidate as not our kind of person. Note that this does not mean that you should necessarily take this language flaunting off your resume. You need to understand what the company values. Some companies do value this. Certifications. Certifications for software engineers can be anything from a positive to a neutral to a negative. This goes hand in hand with being too language focused. The companies that are biased against candidates with a very lengthy list of technologies tend to also be biased against certifications. This means that in some cases you should actually remove this sort of experience really from your resume. You would think. Yeah, I hear you, Ryan or Adina. But at this rate, I really, truly, really, truly, as much as I love what I'm doing working for schools, I cannot afford things. I'm in a bad place financially. I have to figure something out. I don't know. Knowing only one or two languages. The more time you spend coding, the more time you've built, The more languages you will have tended to work with. The assumption then, when they see a resume with only one language, is that you have experienced very many problems. They also often worry that candidates with only one or two languages will have trouble learning new technologies. Why does the candidate learn more things? Or, or will just feel too tied with a specific, or will they just feel too tied with a specific technology, potentially not using the best language for the task? This advice is here not just to help you work on your resume, but also to help you develop the right experience. If your expertise is in C#.net, try developing some projects in Python and JavaScript. If you only know one or two languages, build some applications in a different language. Where possible, try to truly diversify. Languages in the cluster of Python, Ruby, and JavaScript are somewhat similar to each other. It's better if you can learn languages that are more different, like Python, C++, and Java. Ooh, first visual. There's no way. I'm so behind. Okay, so there's a map. I'm not going to show the whole thing. We're just going to talk about it. So it's a preparation map. There's no way. I'm so tired. Everything just seems like the worst. Okay. The following map should give you an idea of how to tackle the interview preparation process. One of the key takeaways here is that it's not just about interview questions. Do projects and write code too. 1+ years before the interview. I would like to think it would take me less than a year to get my first interview. But if not, maybe I should be figuring out other ways of supplementing my income. That's the other thing I'm trying to figure out. It's like, I'm going to be missing 2 weeks of work this month. I missed a week of work because as a sub, if I don't work, I don't earn. So I missed a week in November. I'm missing 2 weeks in December. As far as I know, there's no way to supplement or substitute anything for that. And then spring break is going to be another week of no work. And then summer is like 2 months. But maybe I can do summer school again. So then we're talking about 1 month. And it's like, I'm so tired of this. I thought I was doing grad school to have less worrying about where money is coming from. Preparation map. The following map should give you an idea of how to tackle the interview preparation process. One of the key takeaways here is that it's not just about the interview questions, do projects and write code too. Okay. 1+ years before the interview. Build projects outside of schoolwork. Not wrong. Then learn multiple programming languages. I managed that. I just need refreshers. Then expand network. Oh, well, kind of doing that. Then build website portfolio showcasing your experience. I like that. This was something I thought of doing, but I can see how I don't have time to do that. That's unfortunate. Then students. Nope. Find internship and take classes with large projects. That's a no. Professionals. Focus work on media projects. Okay. I guess that's professionals with the asterisk. Well, that's the thing. I could, but that's going to be another 2 years of school. So it's like, I don't know what to do. It's like everything that is just so far away in the future, but I'm dealing with the problems I'm dealing with now. I just don't. So bummed. Okay, so then It says for 3 to 12 months, continue to work on projects. Try to add on one more project. Next, create, draft a resume and send it out for a resume review. Really? Okay. Resume review. How does that work? And then make target list of preferred companies. Even that is like confusing considering the way the labor market has been. Then read intro sections of CTCL cracking the coding interview. Oh, you're supposed to do that. Oh. Well, it's a nice thing that they put that in part 4. Okay. Then learn and master Big O. Then implement data structures and algorithms from scratch. Then form mock interview group with friends to interview each other. Oh, really? Oh, great. How? Uh, then 1 to 3 months. Do many projects too. I understand. I was doing some things and I understand that there is, I think it's called interview.io or something. Maybe. I don't know. I'm just so tired. It's so irritating. Yeah, so here in California, it does not matter a lick that I have been being a substitute teacher since 2018, if not sooner. No, sooner. 2015. Something like that. It doesn't matter at all because it's been public school. Had I been, okay, if I go private school, I could probably be a teacher. If I go private school. Oof. Technically speaking, if I go private school and I work as a teacher at a private school, that would potentially count toward me being able to then be a public school teacher. Boy. That's true. That is an option. I don't know, maybe. Because frankly, I'm kind of enthused about doing coding as a job, but I'd rather just do it as a thing that I do for projects and stuff. Like they were saying earlier in this, just for funsies. Uh, I don't know. I'm just so bummed. It's just hard to think straight. All I know is what I'm currently doing isn't it. Um, so in 1 to 3 months, do mini projects to solidify understanding of key concepts, to several mock interviews, then continue to practice interview questions, then create lists to track mistakes you've made solving problems, then in 4 weeks, create interview prep grid, which is on page 32, and review, update resume, and then begin applying to companies. Really, 4 weeks? You don't say. Oh, okay. Then it also says reread intro to cracking the coding interview, especially tech and behavioral section. Then do another mock interview. Then continue to practice questions, writing code on paper. And then 1 week before the interview, phone interview, locate headset and or video camera. Do a final mock interview. We have stories from the interview prep grid, page 32. Reread algorithm approaches, page 67. Reread Big O section, page 38. Continue to practice interview questions, then day before rehearse each story from the interview prep grid once. Then continue to practice questions and review your list of mistakes. The review powers of 2 table on page 61. Print for a phone screen. Really? Oh yeah, that is handy. Then day of, wake up in plenty of time to eat a good breakfast and be on time. Be confident, not cocky. Remember to talk out loud. Show how you think. Don't forget stumbling and struggling is normal. And then after, write a thank you note to recruiter. Then if you haven't heard from recruiter, check in after 1 week. Then if no offer, ask when you can reapply. Don't give up hope. Then get an offer, celebrate your hard work paid off. Yay. All right. Oh, what time is it? 6:03. How long is this? So we got into the next section, but I just want to know if Okay, that's not too bad. I think I'll go through part 5. It's just like prejudice. Yeah, and then that'll be a good place to put a pin on it. So, introduction part 5, behavioral questions. Behavioral questions are asked to get to know your personality, to understand your resume more deeply. They just ease you into an interview. They are important questions and can be prepared for. Yeah, okay, I guess. I just know I haven't started yet. I just keep being frozen in my tracks because I'm just like, it just, I don't know how to. I've just got some serious imposter syndrome going on, I think. Interview preparation grid. Go through each of the projects or components of your resume, ensure that you can talk about them in detail. Filling out a grid like this may help. See, that's your thing. Oof. Common questions. Challenges, mistakes, failures, enjoy leadership conflicts. What you do differently. Project 1, 2, 3. That is a great question. I should definitely think about that. And if it's not something that I could actually answer those questions on, I probably shouldn't have it in the resume. That's a good point. I was trying to just like include projects that I did well with as far as grades, but maybe I should be even thinking of those projects that didn't quite pan out well grade-wise. Because those are the more interesting things when it comes to like the mistakes and failures and what I would do differently and then the conflicts, etc. That's a thought. Along the top as columns, you should list all the major aspects of your resume, including each project, job, or activity. Along the side as rows, you should list the common behavioral questions. Study this grid before your interview. Reducing each story to just a couple of keywords may make the grid easier to study and recall. You can also more easily have this grid in front of you during an interview without it being a distraction. Oh, that's handy. It's nice to have something to help jog memory. In addition, ensure that you have 1 to 3 projects that you can talk about in detail. You should be able to discuss the technical components in depth. These should be projects where you played a central role. What are your weaknesses? When asked about your weaknesses, give a real weakness. Answers like, my greatest weakness is that I work too hard. Tell your interviewer that you're arrogant and or won't admit to your faults. A good answer can be a real, legitimate weakness, but it emphasizes how you work to overcome it. For example, sometimes I don't have a very good attention to detail. Well, that's good because it it lets me execute quickly, it also means that I sometimes make careless mistakes. Because of that, I make sure to always have someone else double check my work. What questions should you ask the interviewer? Most interviewers will give you a chance to ask them questions. The quality of your questions will be a factor, whether subconsciously or consciously, in their decisions. Walk into the interview with some questions in mind. You can think about 3 general type of questions. Genuine questions. These are the questions you actually want to know. The answers to. Here are a few ideas of questions that are valuable to many candidates. 1. What's the ratio of testers to developers to program managers? What is their interaction like? How does project planning happen on the team? 2. What brought you to this company? What has been most challenging for you? These questions will give you a good feel for what the day-to-day life is like at the company. Insightful questions. These questions demonstrate your knowledge or understanding of technology. 1. I noticed that you use technology X. How do you handle problem Y? 2. Why did the product choose to use the X protocol over the Y protocol? I know it has benefits like A, B, C, but many companies choose not to use it because of issue D. Asking these questions will typically require advanced research about the company. Passion questions. These questions are designed to demonstrate your passion for technology. They show that you're interested in learning and will be a strong contributor to the company. 1. I'm very interested in scalability, and I'd love to learn more about it. What opportunities are there at this company to learn about this? 2. I'm not familiar with technology X, but it sounds like a very interesting solution. Could you tell me a bit more about how it works? Know your technical projects. Temp service. That's a thought. That's a good point, Leo 20 Toast. That could be a good thing for this summer. I mean, one coming up in 2025. My main problem with 2024 summer, after summer school, for that month, that I was just not. Yeah, I hear you. Was a lack of being able to work Monday through Friday 9 to 5. But maybe that will be not a problem in summer 2025. That'd be good. I think, here's the thing. I really love what I do working for the school district. So maybe I should just, I don't know, just temp for those off times. But even then, I feel like I'm still stuck not being able to handle the living expenses on the monthly like I need to be able to do. Uh, I know I could add tutoring in the mix. Just apparently it'd have to be in person. A lot of people don't necessarily want to do online anymore. Know your technical projects. As part of your preparation, you should focus on 2 or 3 technical projects that you should deeply master. Select projects that ideally fit the following criteria. Really? The project had challenging components beyond just learning a lot. You played a central role, ideally on the challenging components. You can talk at technical depth. For those projects and all your projects, be able to talk about the challenges, mistakes, technical decisions, choices of technologies, and trade-offs of these, and the things you would do differently. You can also think about follow-up questions like how you would scale the application. Interesting. Responding to behavioral questions. Behavioral questions allow your interviewer to get to know you and your prior experience better. Remember the following advice when responding to questions. Be specific, not arrogant. Arrogance is a red flag, but you still want to make yourself sound impressive. So how do you make yourself sound good without being arrogant? By being specific. Yeah, that's definitely something I gotta practice. And that's why I should be making some, granted, the current state of my resume, I made it a point to only actually list projects that I actually have. So I could probably figure out how to be specific about those things. And then as I go and make more things, I would bear this kind of thing in mind and be able, well, okay, so it's very bad. I don't know. I'm so torn. I want to figure out how to keep doing what I'm doing, but I also want to use my master's degree in computer science. I would love to figure out how to do both things. I don't know a good solution other than working at a private school as a teacher. That's a bummer. But it would just be like for however long it takes to. I don't know. I'm just really bummed. Everything's such a bummer this year. Okay. So specificity means giving just the facts and letting the interviewer derive an interpretation. For example, rather than saying that you did all the hard parts, you can instead describe the specific bits you did that were challenging. Limit details. When a candidate blabbers on about limit details. When a candidate blabbers on about a problem, it's hard for an interviewer who isn't well versed in the subject or project to understand it. Stay light on details and just state the key points. When possible, try to translate it or at least explain the impact. You can always offer the interviewer the opportunity to drill in further. By examining, this is an example. By examining the most common user behavior and applying the Rabin-Karp algorithm, I designed a new algorithm to reduce search from big O of n to big O log n in 90% of cases. I can go into more detail if you'd like. This demonstrates the key points while letting your interviewer ask for more details if he wants to. Focus on yourself, not your team. Interviews are fundamentally brain is just bleh. Interviews are fundamentally an individual assessment. Unfortunately, when you listen to many candidates, especially those in leadership roles, answers are always we, us, and the team. The interviewer walks away having little idea what the candidate's actual impact was and might conclude that the candidate did little. Pay attention to your answers. Listen for how much you say we versus I. Assume that every question is about your role and speak to that. Yeah, I guarantee there's some after school or summer thing that does something like what you're seeing. Cool ninjas. Maybe even during school. I'd have to figure out that one though. Like, if my schedule goes back to the way it was, as it has been for the majority of this year, 2024, but it's got changed up as of the end of August due to health issues. But if it ends up going back to the way it was, I effectively won't have any time during weekdays. I'll be going back to having 13-hour days, wherein I wake up at 3:15, but then I don't get done. I mean, technically speaking, if things continue to go on with the health issues as they are, I might be getting done with things by. There's some room for that, but it would have to be the problem I'm running into is that where I work is not where I live. So it would require me to go from where I work to where I live and then go back up to where I work. And then we're talking about rush hour traffic at that point. Not the going back up part, but the coming back down part. And I already have to deal with the morning traffic. I don't want to have to deal with the afternoon traffic too. That's not very safe, which is why I haven't been tutoring. Like, I had an opportunity maybe to tutor up, but it's called I just don't think that's a safe thing to be doing. And there's just not like, well, so far I haven't found a need down where I live as much as the need is where I work. So it's, I don't know. But that's not a bad thing to do for the summer. Or if it happens to be during school hours. I don't know. Maybe that's just what I need to do is just figure out ways to increase my temp type things and the seasonal, and then just actually do it correctly this time. Because I keep saying, for years I've been saying, oh, I know, I'll just figure out summer work, I'll figure out seasonal work, I'll figure out da 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 da. And I never quite do it right. And I just keep in the same boat again. Granted, I was, busy doing grad school, but now I'm done with that. And I'm still having the same troubles. It's like, gee Lewis. Let's demonstrate the key points while letting your interviewer know. While letting your interview ask for more details if he wants to. Focus on yourself, not seeing. Okay, that's a rumor. Pay attention to your answers. Listen for how much you say we versus I. Assume that every question is about your role and speak to that. Okay, give structured answers. There are two common ways to think about structuring responses to every question: nugget first and SAR. These techniques can be used separately or together. Nugget first. Nugget first means starting your response with a nugget that specifically describes what your response will be about. For example, interviewer, tell me about a time you had to persuade a group of people to make a big change. Candidate, sure, let me tell you about the time when I convinced my school to let undergraduates teach their own courses. Initially, my school had a rule where this technique grabs your interviewer's attention and makes it very clear what your story will be about. It also helps you be more focused in your communication since you've made it very clear to yourself what the gist of your response is. SAR, situation, action, result. The SAR approach means that you start off outlining the situation, then explaining the actions you took, and lastly, describing the result. Example, tell me about a challenging interaction with a teammate. Situation. On my operating systems project, I was assigned to work with 3 other people. While 2 were great, the third team member didn't contribute much. He stayed quiet during meetings, rarely chipped in during email discussions, and struggled to complete his components. This was an issue not only because it shifted more work onto us, but also because we didn't know if we could count on him. Action. I didn't want to write him off completely yet, so I tried to resolve the situation. I did 3 things. First, I wanted to understand why he was acting like this. Was it laziness? Was he busy with something else? I struck up a conversation with him and then asked him open-ended questions about how he felt it was going. Interestingly, basically, out of nowhere, he said that he wanted to take on the write-up, which is one of the most time-intensive parts. This showed me that it wasn't laziness, it was that he didn't feel like it was good enough to write code. Second, now that I understand the cause, I tried to make it clear that he shouldn't fear messing up. I told him about some of the bigger mistakes that I made and admitted that I wasn't clear about a lot of parts of the project either. Third and finally, I asked him to help me with breaking out some of the components of the project. We sat down together and designed a thorough spec for one of the big components in much more detail than we had before. Once he could see all the pieces, it helped show him that the project wasn't as serious as he'd assumed. Result. With his confidence raised, he now offered to take on a bunch of smaller coding work, and then eventually some of the biggest parts. He finished all his work on time, and he contributed more in discussions. We were happy to work with him on a future project. The situation and the result should be succinct. Your interviewer generally does not need many details to understand what happened and, in fact, may be confused by them. By using the SAR model with clear situations, actions, and results, the interviewer will be able to easily identify how you made an impact and why it mattered. Consider putting your stories into the following grid. So the columns: nugget, situation, actions, result, what it says. Then in the rows with stories. So story 1, and then bear in mind that actions have 3, 1, 2, 3, 3 actions. Give per story. Explore the action. In almost all cases, the action is the most important part of the story. Unfortunately, far too many people talk on and on about the situation, but then just breeze through the action. Instead, dive into the action, or if possible, break down the action into multiple parts. For example, I did 3 things. First, this will encourage sufficient depth. Think about what it says. Reread the story on page 35. What personality attributes has the candidate demonstrated? Initiative, leadership. The candidate tried to resolve the situation by addressing it head on. Empathy. The candidate tried to understand what was happening to the person. The candidate also showed empathy in knowing what will resolve the teammate's insecurity. Compassion. Although the teammate was harming the team, the candidate wasn't angry at the teammate. His empathy led him to compassion. Humility. The candidate was able to admit to his own flaws, not only to the teammate, but also to the interviewer. Teamwork. Helpfulness. The candidate worked with the teammate to break down the project into manageable chunks. You should think about your stories from this perspective. Analyze the actions you took and how you reacted. What personality attributes does your reaction demonstrate? In many cases, the answer is none. That usually means you need to rework how you communicate the story to make the attribute clearer. You don't explicitly say, I did X because I have empathy, but you can go one step away from that. For example, less clear attribute. I called up the client and told him what happened. More clear attribute, empathy and courage. I made sure to call the client myself because I knew that he would appreciate hearing it directly from me. If you still can't make the personality attributes clear, then you might need to come up with a new story entirely. So tell me about yourself. Many viewers kick off the session by asking you to tell them a bit about yourself or asking you to walk through your resume. This is essentially a pitch. It's your interviewer's first impression of you, so you want to be sure to nail this. Structure. A typical structure that works well for many people is essentially chronological, with the opening sentence describing their current job and a conclusion discussing their relevant, interesting hobbies outside of work, if any. 1. Current role, headline only. I'm a software engineer at Microworks, where I have been leading the Android team for the last 5 years. 2. College. My background is in computer science. I did my undergrad at Berkeley and spent a few summers working at startups, including one where I attempted to launch my own business. 3. Post-college and onwards. After college, I wanted to get some exposure to larger corporations, so I joined Amazon as a developer. It was a great experience. I learned a ton about large system design, and I got to really drive the launch of a key part of AWS. That actually showed me that I really wanted to be in a more entrepreneurial environment. 4. Current role details. One of my old managers from Amazon recruited me out to join her startup, which was what brought me to Microworks. Here, I did the initial system architecture, which has scaled pretty well with our rapid growth. I then took an opportunity to lead the Android team. I do manage a team of 3, but my role is primarily with technical leadership, architecture, coding, etc. Outside of work, I've been participating in some hackathons, mostly doing iOS development there as a way to learn it more deeply. I'm also active as a moderator on online forums around Android development. Wrap up. I'm looking now for something new, and your company caught my eye. I've always loved the connection with the user, and I really want to get back to a smaller environment too. This structure works well for about 95% of candidates. For candidate for candidates with more experience, you might condense part of it. 10 years from now, the candidate's initial statements might become just, after my CS degree from Berkeley, I spent a few years at Amazon and then joined a startup where I led the Android team. Oh, bummer. That's kind of harsh on her, Dina. Ugh. Oh, the more I read this, the more I'm like, This seems like I don't have the qualifications for this work. Like, ah, that's such a bummer. All right, hobbies. Think carefully about your hobbies. You may or may not want to discuss them. Often they're just fluff. If your hobby is just generic activities like skiing or playing with your dog, you can probably skip it. Sometimes, though, hobbies can be useful. This often happens when the hobby is extremely unique, e.g., fire breathing. It may strike up a bit of a conversation and kick off the interview on a more amiable note. The hobby is technical. This not only boosts your actual skill set, but it also shows passion for technology. The hobby demonstrates a positive personality attribute. A hobby like remodeling your house yourself shows a drive to learn new things, take some risks, and get your hands dirty, literally and figuratively. It would really hurt to mention hobbies, so when in doubt, you might as well. Think about how to best frame your hobby, though. Do you have any successes or specific word to show from it, e.g., landing a part in a play? Is there a personal attribute this hobby demonstrates? Sprinkle in shows of successes. Yeah, I'm just saying, if getting a master's degree is not success enough, I don't. I'm so bummed. You're right, and I guess you have a point. I'm so bummed. This just seems like such a bad idea. Like, I wasted 10 years, and I don't like that feeling. In the above pitch, the candidate has casually dropped some highlights of this background. He specifically mentioned that he was recruited out of Micros by his old manager, which shows that he was successful at Amazon. He also mentions wanting to be in a smaller environment, which shows some element of culture fit, assuming this is a startup he's applying for. He mentions some successes he's had, such as launching a key part of AWS and architecting a scalable system. He mentions his hobbies, both of which show a drive to learn. When you think about your pitch, think about what different aspects of your background say about you. Can you drop in shows of successes, awards, promotions being recruited out by someone you worked with, launches, etc.? What do you want to communicate about yourself? No, like not really, aside from a master's degree. All right, on that note, like you would think that would be enough. I just don't know if it is. On that note, that's it for um that section. Um, I am definitely uh let's see, Big O is what's coming up next. And that's gonna be pretty lengthy. Yeah, pretty lengthy. Yeah, pretty lengthy. So I'm gonna put the pin on reading there. Oh boy. Like it's okay. I guess I'll just do the best I can with the resume that I can and then put in places if and then I don't know. I could still work into trying to figure out more temporary things or more summer things to work on in the meantime while I'm still trying to figure out this. It's like I got two different things going on. Ideally, I could figure out the one thing that would solve the other thing, but I don't know how feasible that is right now. So effectively, the main thing I gotta figure out is how do I afford my living expenses because I'm just not at all there, and it's really causing a lot of duress and distress. Um, and it'd be a lot easier to think. Granted, I don't like time wise. I don't. Best case, I could figure out how to make it all work within the same block of time, and I don't have any like I really like having my weekends to just do me and not have to and give me a chance to recover from the week or like run whatever errands I have to. I don't know. Best case, I could figure out ways to do things instead of subbing. Not all the time, but for when the subbing doesn't make sense. I have a lot of flexibility with the job I have. They've got like a 6-month rule. Uh, or maybe I should just try and go ahead and be a teacher at private school. That's a bummer. Like I like helping public school. They're who needs the help. Uh, but I can't keep doing this. Teacher internship might be a thing. That's true. That would require a little bit more school, but at least if I'm a teacher intern, then I get paid. Because I don't want to. What I don't want to do is have to have unpaid classroom time. I can't afford to do that. That's just so weird. Like I'm this far removed from my graduation back in May, and I still don't have a clear path ahead. I'm still having the same exact stuff on the table as I did back then. That's so weird. Aside from PhD, like that seems unlikely for anytime soon. I can't even, to my understanding, I can't even get one letter of recommendation. And now the I think the date has already closed. I think the application window is already closed on that. Because I went to go and talk with a professor, and that didn't quite go as I was expecting, and kind of got just really disenchanted. I don't know. Yeah, I hear you. Kids are kids. If there's, uh, I just gotta figure this out. This living expenses thing, I gotta at least figure this part out. I just don't know how. I thought grad school was a solution, but it's some solution. I just gotta pair it with something, but what? This is the thing I keep hitting my head in the wall with. I don't know. Oh, really? That's a thought. Well, the thing about not being okay. The thing about not being a sub teacher is maybe I don't have to deal with that crap because I don't know what they do in Texas, but ooh, here in California, there's a lot of students who think, ooh, it's a sub. Let's just be as rude as we want. Ha 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 ha. So irritating when that happens. I'm just trying to help. That's literally the main thing why I show up. That is every state. Alright, great. I swear, I'm literally just trying to help. But maybe that's one plus. Maybe I should just look into. Just gotta do something. What I'm doing right now is not it. It's just not enough. And I gotta stop bothering my boyfriend so much. With, oh goodness gracious. Yeah, you better be like that's a joke. Goodness. I've already spent so long being a burden. I'm not trying to continue to be a burden. I'm trying to not that. I thought I was going somewhere with this master's. I got done. That was supposed to be the hard part. Oh, nope. Not true. Well, I've got a bad case of the sleepies. And also, I should go out and take my medicine. So I don't plan on doing any dancing tonight. Ugh. Ugh. All right, you dance. Sounds like a win. I have to subscribe to you. I don't think I've subscribed to you. Can I do that from here? That'd be like helpful if I could. Ooh, sorry. Okay. I think I can do it on my computer. All right, hold on. I'll try and do that. I'm just slow. My apologies. Oh. Oh. Okay. I'm not even sure if you do anything. It's possible. Uh, well, I guess I'm just gonna have to figure that out. Let's see.
Now connected to desktop CFS-NEO.
All right. Oh, fun. Electric parts bin organization 5 hours ago? That sounds like a fun time. Okay, you got a subscriber. I mean, you have 37. You have 38 subscribers. Alright. Uh-oh. Oh no! What happened? You got cut off? That's a bummer. Oh, and you had it, you filmed it too? Oh boy. Really? Oh, yeah, that was pretty messed up. Yeah, people just be so rude driving. I don't understand. It's great that you have captions. I don't know if they're auto-generated or if you actually took the time to put them in. Oh, bummer. You guys picked up. Huh? You do? I'm just seeing. You're showing your elbow. Looks like you got scraped up. I don't know what you're asking me right now. What sucked? I'm not really fully here right now, Ryan Herdina. I'm just kind of depressed. Kind of super depressed. Trying to be less of that. Just, but this is cool. Okay. Oh, what? Oh, that's fun. Okay. I don't know who that is. Oh, that's somebody else. Someone did a light strip thing, and I don't think that's you. I think it's someone else. But I'm just enjoying the vibe, I have to say. It's a fun one. Hold on, I'll drop a link. I gotta join my stream on my computer in order to do that. So, going real slow. Oh, oh yeah, there am I. There it be. Okay. Oh, this is fun. That looks like fun. Oh, you did those lights? Because it's a different channel. So I'm a little confused. Oh no, what? Oh, hold on. I think they just. Oh, I think I mentioned I have a new niece or nephew coming on the way in April to be born, and it looks like they just decided on the name. Hold on. No, false alarm. They're talking about their Christmas tree. Hold on. Hold on. Electronic. See, that's what I'm saying. Okay, okay. See, I'm like, that can't be yours. Okay, it's not. Okay, hold on. I thought I was subscribed. Hello, people. I thought I already subscribed. What do you mean subscribe? I hit subscribed. People. Oh, my Wi-Fi's jacked. Not technically. Technically, my OG wireless setup does not like to play with my new wireless setup, and my computer decides that I don't have internet, even though I just had internet. So I have to go unplug my OG network to release my computer from being stuck in not internet land. Oh, love this. Great times. This freaking year has been so obnoxious. Okay, hold on. Okay. Back on. Continue. This should be working, but it might not be because why should it be working? Oh. Okay, it's on. Okay. Let's try this again. I thought I subscribed. Okay. Hopefully it's stuck this time. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay. I see what you're seeing. The 16 by 16 LED pendulum wave. Oh, fun. Oh, that's really cool. Just looking at the, I forgot what they call it, but before you click, you can just have your mouse over it and it does the little GIF effectively. Yeah, consumerism, not wrong. Boy. Well, cool. Let's see. Okay, now you're at 38 subscribers. It's official. Oh. Oh, bicycle lights. That's fun. That's smart too. If you want to do night riding, it's always good to make sure people can't say, "Well, I didn't see you," as an excuse. Oh, yeah, sure. Oh, I swear, everything's just a bunch of BS and a half, it feels like. Oh, that's cool. I would just be concerned with some of these lights if any of them are seizure inducing, that would be not helpful. Oh, also even remind me, I've been seeing these cars going around with like Christmas lights looking like they're glued on them. What? Why am I watching your thing and then my thing pops up as the next thing to watch? That's weird. Did you? Hold on. What is that? I am not listening to any sound. If there's sound, I apologize. I'm just not listening to any sound though. I'm just checking out the visuals. I go back later for sound. Oh, subtitles. Oh, bummer. Oh. Looks like you got hurt. When was that? 10 months ago. Gee. I hope you took a break. Oh, that's fine. Googly eyes. That's hilarious. Oh, well, alright. Oh. That picture I took for this live stream just does not look quite right. Not on my computer anyway. It looks, huh? I said it looks, and then Alexa, hello. I was thinking I was talking to her. Anyway, it's not like she can do anything. The internet's not on for her. Oh, she's gonna see how this. She's not gonna do the internet. Well, okay. Hmm. Was that a short? Okay, hold on. No? Technically it's a video. Okay. So even your videos are shorts? I mean, they're short length. Because I thought I was doing a video for apt. I thought I was doing a video, and then after I had done it, they were like, "Oh, it's a shorts," and I'm like, "Oh, I didn't realize you can have a short that was about 3 minutes." Okay. So even though I had set it off to be a video, they classified it as a short. Gee. Well, okay. That's probably. Hi, Carol Miller. I'm doing okay, aside from having a bit of an existential crisis. Just I'm just gonna have to put in some applications, see what happens. I guess maybe go back to this page talking about resume stuff and make sure I tweak my resume and try to think about listing the things that not necessarily I did awesome on. I guess I learned a few things. How are you doing? Are you doing well? Oh, I'm glad you're good. Yeah, they are. All I know is this is the first time in a long time where I get to actually enjoy them. Because for the longest I can remember, this was always the part of the semester where I just had to, like, part of the year where I was just closing out semesters. So I couldn't really celebrate until until after I was done with that process. And so sometimes I would only be able to like, it was like 2 or 3 days before Christmas or something. And then one year, that's when stuff just went crazy. One year, all the way through New Year's, I was still trying to do some things to try to close out the semester. Of course, I was late and didn't count for anything. And then it was right then that my boyfriend was stuck in the hospital, and it was still during the COVID, like the big bar of COVID. So they didn't let any visitors, and it was just all kinds of crazy. Things have definitely improved since that. Oh yeah, I agree about Black Fridays, but still, me, I have a fear of getting trampled. So yeah, any place that I could potentially get trampled, I probably would show up there. It's a bit of a bummer. If I happen to be with somebody, like for instance, when I was visiting, um, where I was visiting for Thanksgiving break, Wicked had just come out on the 22nd. So I was talking earlier before I went. No, I hear you. But yeah, as far as that goes, I'd been talking about Wicked prior to going out there, and my niece was interested, and then I found out that my sister was interested, one of my sisters. So it was like, oh, okay, well, I'll go for them because it would be some sister slash niece bonding time. So that was a good time. But like, as far as Black Friday, I remember one time I was working at Walmart, and I had a late shift, and I got to end like at midnight, something like that. So I thought, oh, I know, I'll be slick. I'll just bring a different shirt, and I'll like, since I'm already here, I'll go and I'll peruse and I'll see if I can do any Black Friday anything. And then someone was like, oh, she works here. And as soon as I heard that, I just went full speed to the exit. I was like, oh no, nope, I'm not. And I went home because I don't like worrying about getting trampled. No, no, that seems like a pretty gruesome way to go. Also, some people get in fights for Black Friday. It's crazy. Even though like there's probably, well, he says not as crazy, but I'm sure there's still fights happening. It's like my nephew's birthday party was at Chuck E. Cheese, and for some reason Chuck E. Cheese is one of those places some people just want to brawl. So thankfully, nothing like that happened during my nephew's birthday. Oh, I hear that. That's the thing. I'm a little too attached to Amazon. I might end up applying for Amazon. Uh, we'll see what happens. I'm like so conflicted about Amazon. On the one hand, I've been an Amazon customer since when I first started college was like 2003, and they really do awesome. On the other hand, leadership and also how they treat some of their workers, it's like a bummer. Super not cool. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard having principles and not being a poor chick. I will say that. I am getting tired of being a poor chick. Middle class would be great. I'm not even aiming high. Middle class would be wonderful. Oh, all right. I hope he didn't go for another ride after that injury. I hope he took a break and did some proper first aid. That would have been good to do. Well, okay. Is that what you're talking about? Did you get stitches for that? I don't even know. Okay, friends, we got 10 more minutes. I'm going to call it. And as far as next stream, I don't know. It's all dependent on how I'm feeling and how work goes and etc. New Year's plans? I plan to be at home and calling in to be on speakerphone with my dad and my stepmom and say Happy New Year. That's what I'm planning. Alright, 10 minutes on the clock. No, technically speaking, it took me forever to set the alarm, so you got more than 10 minutes and 1 second. I was thinking of doing it at 9, but I was like, that would just take time to set it. Because 10 is an option that's readily available. 9, I have to go in and add it in. Oh, I'm so bummed. This year has been a bummer year. It's not even over yet. I'm like, what's next? Like, who else is going to die? Like, I'm just bummed. I made it. I made it. The resolution of improvement was my resolution for 2024, and boy, have I! I've improved a lot of things, but the way that I've come about it has been uh just the worst. Just the most getting beat up I have had in a while. Super monkeys paw. I hear you. 2025 is around the corner. I am hoping that it is wonderfully amazing and awesome for so many people who has had a rough time this year. I hope that 2025 is everything to make up for all the crap of 2024 and then some. That'd be super. Uh, I had so much going on this computer. Right now, my computer is using 77% of the memory, and I'm not really doing anything, thankfully. But if I overdo things, then the CPU starts going totally off the charts. Oh, I still have Node.js. One of these days, I have to like go back to actually learning TypeScript and JavaScript. There was this project I was working on that I didn't get to finish. That may be a fun thing to implement. Again, I don't know about for a future job review, but just a fun. Again, I like just doing this kind of thing for fun. That's the thing. I like that I like it, and I don't want to end up in a position where I don't like it anymore. And sometimes when I overdo things, I just don't like the things anymore. It's like when I was working at Robinson's May when that used to be a thing. And I was working the young men's section, and I was all about the folding clothes and the getting the buttons right and getting the zippers right and this and that. And it's like, you get so much time with clothes. Then when you get home, you don't want to do clothes anymore. It's just like, whatever. I still kind of have that. Like, I haven't worked at Rome since May. In 20 years, not even joking. 2004 was when I worked at Rome since May. And I still am like that. Oh, I mean, granted, I did like work at Target for a brief as the operator, and here in the state of California, the operator is the same person as the fitting room attendant. I'm not sure if that's like a typical practice for Targets, but still, it's like it's been ingrained in my head that, oh, being very cool and fastidious about clothes is a work thing and not really a on my own time thing. And I just don't need more stuff like that. Like, if I want coding, I like to just know that I can just do some coding and not for it to be a total pain. And I mean, it's a pain enough. The fact that you're coding, the fact when you run into complications and bugs and you have to go through the process, that's pain enough. But then to tie work into it, and then whether or not you earn your living, I don't know. Maybe that makes sense. I guess we'll see if I can make that make sense. Definitely something I gotta figure out though. How do I not suck as much with my finances as I have for the last, how long now? Pretty much the whole time I've been alive, feels like. Okay, all of my adult years, let's put it that way. I would just like to not have that be a problem. That would be like great. I don't want to be like my dad. Like, he's in his 60s and that's the problem. It's like, can I just learn that part? How to stop that? That'd be great. We'll see. Well, really? That's a bummer. I don't know. It's like when I was doing the Lyft driving, like, that was a Lyft driving or the door dashing or the Postmates or whatever. That's the kind of thing you want to do as a fun thing to do on top of, not the main thing. As soon as you start making it the main thing, same thing with the YouTube, I think, it just loses the fun. It just gets to be the stress and the, oh my gosh, I didn't get this quota and I have to worry about this thing going wrong, and I'd rather just have a regular job for that. Like, I got my degree, I got my bachelor's in writing. I should do more writing. I really should. I don't know. But now it's like everything I think of is, oh, could that be used to maybe stop my finances being in the toilet? Oh, maybe, but it seems like way off though. I'm so tired. Put them together? What do you mean? Because I've been thinking about like making writing code. No, I mean, like, I've been thinking of like making like doing some more like video game things, and like maybe doing like visual novels and then making the stories and making the art and everything and doing all the coding. But again, this is not stuff that I expected to make money. More so just a fun thing I like to do. Because I'm a STEAM education geek. And that is very STEAM education-y. Ah. Alright. My alarm should be sounding if I remember to. Yeah, got a little over a minute. I'm so bummed. Well, Kyle, you still around? I'm about to close out the stream. You haven't said anything else, so I don't know if you had to go. I understand. Even I have to go from the stream sometimes. That's what I did earlier tonight. Oh, oh, okay. Yeah, pretty much. You did beat the timer. That's good. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna take my pills. I'm gonna get some sleep after I eat. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I have to eat. That's the thing still. And then I gotta check on my boyfriend because he's still doing his thing. Ah, you're here, Kyle. Nice. Well, yeah, I'm about to close out this stream. So thank you very much for popping in and sticking around. I really appreciate that. Um, yeah, I don't know the next time I'll be streaming, but today was about cracking the coding review. I'll probably get some more progressing with that, or go back to C++ all-in-one dummies, all-in for dummies. Could be doing dancing. I don't know. Kind of just depends how tomorrow goes. Oh yeah, thank you, Kyle. I appreciate that. I just don't want to be rude and close off the stream without saying good night to you, or good morning if you happen to be somewhere. But I think even if you were, technically speaking, it would still be good night to you. Because if you were in the UK, it'll be like 3 in the morning or something. All right. I think, wouldn't that be fun? I don't know how I could manage that. It'd be a very boring dancing time, but maybe. Thank you, Kyle. I appreciate that. I'm going to, and I'm going to try on that one. And please enjoy the rest of your evening and take care also. If I don't see you before holidays time, please enjoy your holidays and catch you in 2025. Hopefully, it's an awesome year for everybody. That'd be cool. 2024 has just been a lot, just a whole lot. So hopefully 2025 is all the good things and then some. Oh, yeah, I'm definitely feeling it. Thank you, God. Same to you. Awesome. Appreciate you. Thank you. Right, Ardina. Good night to you. I'll check you some point later. Also, I have to check out your videos more. I have to put that on my to-do list with sound. That'd be great. All right, then. Golden Rat VR, I think, had some things to do. I'll just share it. They'll pop in some other time. Okay, thank you. Oh, thank you, Kyle Miller. Appreciate that. That's very kind of you. Okay, yeah, I'm so tired. Today was just a lot of emotions. I just need to stop feeling it's like such a freaking burden. That would be like number one helpful thing. All right. Thank you guys. Enjoy your evening. Yeah, see you later. Thank you. Um, but yeah, anyone in the future who may check this out, however, wherever, whatever, whenever, just make the most of it. That's the most important part. Good night, Ryan. Good night, Kyle Miller. Bye bye. Good night, other person who's me, maybe. Okay, bye bye.